Hey folks, and welcome to Truck King. This is our review of the Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road with the 6-speed manual, but this video didn't go according to plan. We had a problem with the truck. The clutch broke while we were filming. So when this happened, it was early March of 2024. We immediately reached out to Toyota, of course, and said, hey, something bad happened with the clutch, and we want to understand what happened before we publish the video. So fast forward a couple of months, it is now mid-June, and we finally have a response from Toyota. They took the truck, they tore it down, they figured out what went wrong, and then they gave us the explanation. So what you are about to see is the review exactly as it was shot on that day. So we're just going to go through the whole thing so you can hear our thoughts on the manual before the bad stuff happened. And then luckily we were rolling cameras when we had our clutch incident, so you will see it happen on camera, and then we'll cut over to the explanation from Toyota, talk about what happened to the clutch in this truck. So without further ado, let's jump into this one. Hey folks, and welcome to Truck King. Today we're looking at this 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road. But this isn't just any Tacoma, it is fit with the 6-speed manual transmission. So we're gonna go for a drive and find out if this new manual is any good. Powering this Tacoma is a turbocharged 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine, and in this case it makes 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. And I say in this case because when you get the manual, the power numbers actually change. When hooked to the 6-speed, you're getting 8 fewer horsepower and 7 fewer pound-feet of torque than when it is hooked to the automatic. And I did ask the Tacoma engineer about this, and they just straight up said that the manual transmission, as it was already constructed, just couldn't handle that extra power, which is kind of a funny explanation, but yeah, that is what they said. So they had to drop the numbers just a teeny tiny bit on this manual. Now, the truck we're looking at here today is a TRD Off-Road finished in solar octane. This, you might remember, was one of the TRD Pro exclusive colors, but then after it did its run of 1 year, they spread this color out to the rest of the lineup. And I mean, this thing stands out in a crowd. Now, just overall styling on this new Tacoma, it's absolutely grown on me, but unlike some other truck redesigns lately, this was evolution over revolution. It still looks like a Tacoma. It looks like the last gen with a little bit of massaging, and I think that's okay. When you own the #1 sales spot, you don't always want to make a huge change, and I think that's what Toyota was focused on with this new Taco. But why don't you drop in the comments now and just let me know, what do you think of the style and the solar octane on this truck? Now, before we hit the open road, I actually just want to show off some of the features of this manual transmission because it actually has quite a few. So I'm just here in the driveway, but luckily my parents' driveway has a decent little hill in it. So we're going to use this hill, first of all, to show off the hill hold. So I'm in first gear right now. I'm parked on the hill. Lift off the brake. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's about 2 seconds that it holds for you, and this time I'll actually use it. So again, stopped, lift off, clutch out, and away we go. That's such a nice feature. Anyone who's driven a manual knows hills are one of the more stressful parts, so having a hill hold is nice, and a lot of cars have had hill hold for a while, so that's not new. One of the things I do like here in the Tacoma, though, there's actually a hold setting. So if I hit that hold button down, the truck will actually hold indefinitely. So again, I'm parked on the hill, I'm in neutral, I'll go up into first and lift off the brake. And right now I don't have my foot on the brake, and the truck will sit here for as long as I sit here for. And again, clutch out, a little bit of throttle, and away we go. So that's pretty cool too. If you're just sitting on a hill, you don't have to worry about it. You can just sit there for as long as you'd like and then let your clutch out. Now, the last feature I'm going to talk about is definitely the most interesting. It is clutch start cancel. So once again, we're stopped here on the hill. We're in neutral. I'm going to put the parking brake on. It is an electronic parking brake in this truck. And then we're going to shut the truck off. So Truck is now off and we're on a hill. So now let me explain what clutch start cancel is. The easy way to put it is that when you press the button, it allows you to start the truck without needing the clutch depressed. But what it also allows you to do is start the truck in gear. Now, why would you want to do that? I would say there's two main reasons, and both of them have to do with off-roading. If you are parked on a precarious cliff and you cannot afford to roll back even a centimeter, well, clutch start cancel is going to make sure of that. Plus, what it's going to do is when you turn the truck on, it's going to actually use the starter to drive all four wheels if you're in four-wheel drive, or the two wheels if you're in two-wheel, but the power is going to be even right off the bat. So it just takes away any chance that you might lurch when you're engaging the clutch, and it gives you that smooth power option. And I'll show you what that looks like right now. So we will go ahead, turn on. Oh, I did not mean to start it there. Let me go back. It's because I had my foot on the clutch. So I'm going to take my foot off the clutch now. All I want is accessory mode. So now we're in accessory mode. Now I come down here and I hold down the clutch start cancel button. Now it says clutch start cancel enabled temporarily. So we're able now to push in the clutch, put the truck into first gear. I'm going to take off the parking brake. I'm going to lift off the clutch. So right now it's in gear, the clutch is in. All I'm doing is holding the brake down. And now watch what happens when I start it. Here we go. And just like that, away we go. So basically, you hold the brake, you do the clutch start cancel, and then the second you feel the starter take over, lift off the brake, and as you saw, the truck doesn't roll back at all, and it gets that nice, smooth, even power, which pulled me up the hill, and then you just start throttling a little bit, and you can feel the thing start, and away you go. It's honestly surprising to me that Toyota kept clutch start cancel, because it is truly a niche off-road feature, but it is a pretty cool nod to the hardcore off-roaders out there that if you go for the manual, you're still getting clutch start cancel. Alrighty folks, and now here we are driving in this Tacoma, and you know what, Dad? The fact that we have the manual here is exciting. It's not often that we, even in the media, get to test them. And of course, I think right off the top, we have to point out this is one of only two pickup trucks available with a manual transmission. The Tacoma and the Jeep Gladiator are the last two standing where you can get the manual. And there used to be some arguments for why the manual would be better, fuel economy, time on the track, yada yada. I think we can just confidently say now, it's an enthusiast option. There's really no other reason for Toyota to have kept the manual. They kept it because some people still think it's more fun to drive. I think we're in that camp. And so I guess at this point I should just applaud Toyota for keeping it, because I fully expected it to go away. I don't know about you.
Well, I applaud them for the point of view that I like options. I like options. If I want it, I want to be able to get it. Enough people said, hey, we want it, so they were smart enough to say, you know, this is business. Supply your customer with what he wants.
Fair. And now, there are slightly fewer options for this year because the manual can only be paired with the 2.4 turbo. You can't get it with the hybrid. And because the TRD Pro and the Trail Hunter are hybrid only, you can't get the most fun trims with the most fun transmission, which used to be the case. So we're slightly more limited now, but still I'm thankful we have it, period. So we're coming to a stop sign now, Dad. Perfect chance to feel the power and to test your manual shifting skills. I know it's been a little while for you. So.
You want to see if I can stall it?
Ooh, hello.
Sorry, I redlined.
Yeah, little rev limiter there. But nice, man, it goes. So I feel like, and I've been driving this truck for the better part of a week, I feel like first gear is geared quite low. Like you're shifting out of first quickly, but the power you get to and the torque you get feels great. And you know what? My thoughts on the engine haven't changed going from automatic to manual. I still feel like it's a strong engine. It delivers all the power you want down low. Doesn't feel super turbocharged, meaning you don't get a super big surge of power. Not totally linear, but a little more than some other turbo engines. And I even don't mind the way it sounds, and that's not often I feel like I say that with the Turbo 4, but this one just, it's a little bit lower, not quite as buzzy as some of the other engines out there. So What do you think after that takeoff?
This is a really nice combination. It works with it. It works well. And the other thing I like to throw out there, just as food for thought, because a lot of guys will try to come up with, why is the manual better than the automatic? But one of the things that's still great about a manual is it creates an immersive driving experience. Both feet, both hands, everything's working. You're really paying attention to driving. You're not goofing around with any of the infotainment. You're not lollygagging, staring off into space, because you're engaged. All of you is engaged. It's a much more pleasing driving experience. In addition to which, there comes, particularly these days, a certain amount of pride in being able to drive a stick.
Sure, I joked earlier that these days it truly is an anti-theft device, because so many people are going to go, what the heck is that? I can't drive that truck.
That's right, so we'll move on to the other one.
Yeah, exactly. So of course we joke that a manual is an old school feature, and it's also true that the manuals of today, they're not like the manuals of even 10 years ago, and especially 20 years ago. And that's because there's just been more features added to them. So first of all, the hill hold, you already saw that. Clutch start cancel, that is specific to the Tacoma, but that is a pretty cool feature that you only get with the manual. But then the two really interesting features, the first one is anti-stall control, Dad. So if you are stalling, the truck will actually blip the throttle because it recognizes, hey, you're not giving me enough gas. So it's gonna help you off the line, especially good for new drivers who are learning a manual. And then maybe the more interesting thing is auto rev matching downshift. So on a downshift, the truck will automatically blip the RPM to wherever it needs to be to match the wheel speed. And essentially what that's gonna do is give you a super smooth shift. On the downshift, you don't have that sort of lurching motion because you're not getting the clutch binding up at different speeds. Now, we talked about this quite a bit before. Frankly, this was designed for the racetrack. Auto rev matching downshift is something that if you're not really good and you can't rev match yourself, it might save you 0.2 seconds because you're not getting that big binding moment. In a pickup truck, in regular everyday driving, is it something you really need? I mean, obviously the answer is no. So I guess talk me through what you think about it and what you think the advantages would be for somebody who's driving this truck.
Well, first of all, let's see if we can show it to you.
Sure.
Meaning you can hear it. So I'm going to go from fifth to third, and I'm not going to try to mash the accelerator.
It redlined you there.
Because it was too high.
Yeah. What's going on with the clutch though? Did something bad happen?
Where the hell's my clutch pedal?
It is staying on the floor. I think something bad just happened. Yeah. Oh, that's not good. Four ways. I can see it. It's staying down. All right, that's not good. I mean, you didn't. No, that shouldn't happen. Even with what you did, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's funny because I don't smell a clutch. Can you physically pop it back up? You're in neutral. You're in neutral. Is it just
so I have no idea.
Did it just lose the spring? Like the spring back? Because it tried to rev match when you shifted. I thought it was just too high. No. Wow. Okay. That's not good.
We got no clutch.
Yeah.
We have no clutch.
Yeah. Like it just literally roasted the clutch.
Nah, that can't happen.
That shouldn't have happened. Like I said, what
it's
did...
not burned.
No.
Something let go.
Yeah. You went to do an aggressive downshift, it blipped the throttle, and then when you went to push it in, it wasn't even going in gear, and your foot was to the floor on the clutch. Well, everyone, now you have seen it, but let's watch that one more time and I'll sort of give you the play-by-play. So you can see I asked Dad to do that 5th to 3rd downshift. He went clutch in, came out of gear, went to go back into gear. Now you'll notice the truck actually never went into gear. There's just a bit of grinding and then a pronounced clunk. You might also notice that on the tachometer in the Tacoma, it shows it rev up. That was the auto rev matching that came up to match for that downshift. However, it never even redlined, at least according to the tach. So after that happened, the weird part was the clutch stayed on the floor. Dad couldn't find it. My initial reaction was to laugh because I thought he just blew the shift, but turned out no, something bad happened inside that Tacoma. Now we finally have an official response from Toyota. They have spent the last couple of months tearing down that truck and going over every piece of it, and here is their official statement straight from the Tacoma engineering team. When looking into the issue that occurred with this Tacoma, we started down 3 paths: parts, material, and manufacturing quality. After thorough confirmation of manufacturing and material results, absent any abnormalities and given the failure mode is consistent with high rotational inertia, our conclusion is almost certainly a downshift from 5th gear into 1st gear instead of 5th into 3rd. The input shaft's rotational speed exceeded the clutch assembly capability and led to the damage of the clutch. So very basically, Toyota is saying that my dad made a big mistake, and rather than into 3rd, he tried to jam it down into 1st, and that essentially caused the clutch to grenade. So of course I grabbed my dad and said, you know what, here's what Toyota says, what do you think? And here's his response. And what can we say, Dad? Toyota claims that it was user error. You saw everything we did with the truck in the video. So at the end of this one, I'm not confident to say it wasn't us or it was us. You know what? We have to just take Toyota at their word on this one. What do you think?
I know what I was trying to do, doing a downshift from 5th to 3rd, which technically should be possible. And we have video of me doing this. So for once, I don't have to do a he said, she said. You can see what it was I was trying to accomplish at the time. Did I cause the problem? I am not confident enough to say I didn't. But on the other hand, this is one of those situations where I truly, truly don't know what happened.
Yeah, so I think that leaves it up to you guys. All you can do, go back, watch the clip, and then decide for yourselves, should that clutch have broken, and did we do something dumb, or was it a mechanical malfunction? Well, yeah, that's it for this one, everybody. I hope this was informative. We really tried to bring you the whole story with all of the information from start to finish. And like I said, we want you to drop into the comments now. Let us know your thoughts. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit the subscribe button, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we're testing next.
Or what we're breaking next.